Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Ride VIP, the Ride Share channel. My name is Serge. I just woke up, got ready, and headed straight back to Charlotte. So I got 1 hour drive ahead of me. The plan for today is to make it to Charlotte right around like 4 p.m. And since it's Friday, start taking people to the bars and clubs and whatnot. Hopefully this will end up being a very busy day. It is being Friday. Yesterday was a great day. I actually got tipped after making that video, so it brought my total like slightly over 300. The tip was actually like $8, so it's like I don't know, like 300, $4 or $5 that I made total for 11 hours, which is not bad. If I could do the same today, I would be happy. If I could just keep it $300 a day before expenses, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Now, I'm always hopeful to make a little bit more. Now, right now, since we don't have the quest, the regular weekend type of quest, well, whatever I make today, that's what I make today. It is what it is. But Saturday, some of you guys got that quest like I did. And that is going to be a very nice opportunity to make some money. So I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow. This is why I want to work till like 4 a.m. this morning. If it stretches out just a little bit longer, it's okay, because there'll be some downtime. I'll have to stop and have lunch. I haven't even had breakfast. I haven't had lunch today. I just basically dressed up, and went back on the road, because that's just how I am. Too much of a workaholic. So as far as today, it is simple. But what I do want to address, guys, is I keep mentioning sometimes in the videos that we have to think about something else that we're going to be doing going forward, okay? And I have some ideas for you that I could give you guys, just like regular ideas that I'm not doing, but I think I would do if I did not have any other choices. But I definitely have many options open to me. But then again, I have an abundance mindset. I do feel that everything's accessible. You can get everything accomplished, whatever you set your mind to. And it's not just positive thinking type of attitude, which I do have positive attitude, but I don't think thinking positively alone will solve all the issues, if you know what I'm talking about, but it's a good start. And this is not something that I'm saying because I'm hopeful. I just know that it's happening. It will happen, because guess what? Guess who's gonna do it? I will do it. Actions really mean a lot. So if there's just plenty of words and no action, then obviously not a lot will happen. Okay, now that being said, what is my plan? Well, I have to sort of think about, like, what do I like and what do I really want to do? And that's really hard to answer. Very hard to answer, because it's kind of like almost hard to be honest with yourself on that type of situation. But you're gonna have to try, because most people, when they think about doing some kind of other business or whatever, they're thinking immediately about how much money it's gonna make, and not necessarily that they like it. To me, I don't look at it like that. I have to do something that I'm actually gonna enjoy. Even if I'm gonna make a little bit of money in it, I better enjoy what I'm doing. So that being said, this thing that's coming up, I don't know if I'm gonna completely enjoy it, but if I could measure it to Uber driving, it's definitely better. It's gonna be more freedom. I'm gonna make a lot more money and stuff like that, and I'll be in charge of my income, if that makes any sense. So why is it better? So I do have this commercial zone property, which is right next door to me. It so happens I live right on the main road, where there's lots of car dealerships and stuff like that. Now, I don't need to open up for the public. I'm always looking at the internet, okay? I do business on the web. So whatever you do, it's a good place to start. Start with the internet, because you have access to everybody all over the thing. And I'm looking no further to like eBay and Amazon, for instance, and there's others as well. So it's not like you have to hunt clients down. People already go to those places and they buy stuff. So anyways, with that being said, I know earlier I've talked about how I have 33 cars, and I talk about a lot of different things, but I wasn't very clear exactly why I have those 33 cars, okay? I've been buying up cars for pennies on the dollar. Well, not exactly pennies on the dollar, but if you, well, not even, yeah, it would never be pennies on the dollar. But anyways, I've been buying it very cheap, very cheap. A lot of the cars prices that I have is the top price that I've paid would be right around like $5,500, $6,000, and the lowest would be like maybe like $1,400-$1,500. That being said, most of my cars are around like $1,500. Okay, that's how much I spend on the car. Now, when I win them at the auction, I win them for prices like, let's say like $800-$900, but there's all these taxes and everything that's associated with that. Then I basically pay all that stuff, right? So then I win the car for $1,500. Then I gotta get it home. So they're charging me a lot of money to bring cars home. Like, they're charging me as much as $300-$350 per car to bring home. Sometimes I work out a deal with them. I say, look, can you do 2 cars for me? I'll give you like $500. That kind of thing. You're going over to one destination. And it's a tough sell these days. It's like these tow truck companies, they think like they're just like so busy, and like they don't want to deal with you, the little guy, or they just think you have nowhere else to go. And they're just selling you on a very, very, very high price. But anyways, that being said, most of my cars, they probably have invested maybe like roughly $2,000. So if you look at, let's just pretend all of the cars are at that price point, $2,000. Me having 37 cars would essentially mean, you know, with the fluctuating in price, just for easy math, about like $80,000 investment. Most businesses, you're gonna have to invest some money, okay? Now, I'm trying to avoid sneezing, okay? And it's gonna be kind of like hard a little bit. But anyways, sometimes I have like sneezing fits for like no reason. I actually feel completely fine. I have not had any coffee today, no energy drinks just yet. I just got out, but you can see my eyes just turned red. Partly because I just got up, and partly because I'm getting ready to do things. But anyways, I wanted to start a parts business. Ever since I heard of this idea from a book by Millionaire Mind, or Millionaire Next Door. I think it was a Millionaire Mind. In that particular book, the guy mentions that he used to work for this one trucking company, and the trucking company sold the truck to the trucking junkyard, or to a junkyard, right? I don't even think they had a trucking junkyard. But anyways, they sold the truck for like $5,000, something like that. So I guess they thought they got a pretty good deal. So a whole semi truck, or like whatever, like a bobtail type of idea, like not with a trailer, like an 18-wheeler, I guess. Not even an 18-wheel, 10-wheeler. No trailer wheels, I guess. But what he then realized is they needed to go back and get an engine, and they sold the engine to them for $5,000. Then they need to get a transmission. They sold a transmission for $5,000, and they sold something else for $5,000. And the man quickly realized the junkyard just made a $10,000 profit, because that same company kept buying parts from the truck. Not to mention everybody else that buying parts. So what this man ended up doing is he started a junkyard for trucks. You know. So that got me thinking, and I started researching a lot into making my own junkyard, you know, selling parts online, you know, what is the best way to do it, that kind of thing, because I didn't know nothing about it. But I thought, like, wow, like, wouldn't it be cool, you could just basically have like your own land, and you have your own vehicles, and you sell parts. And if you think about it, like, that is like unlimited income. Like, as long as you have people buying stuff, there's constantly money being made, constantly. When you put your time in, you know, like a regular work day or whatever, and that work day, you're shipping stuff, maybe people are showing up, they're picking stuff up, and that sounds very interesting to me, and there's millions to be made. So anyways, the trucking junkyard, that guy, he became a millionaire from doing it. So that book was about interviewing lots of millionaires, and very nice read. If you don't have that book, I definitely recommend you downloading it, reading it on your free time, like an audiobook version. I never sit down to read a book. I like to listen stuff myself, so I like to share stuff myself as well. So, okay, moving on. since I guess I did a lot of research due to junkyards, one of the millionaire junkyards guys popped up in my feed. And I don't remember this now because this was a few years ago, because I always start on things ahead of time before I even have a chance to do it, because I'm sort of shooting darts at the wall, you know, maybe I'm missing, but eventually I'm gonna hit a bullseye. It's sort of like that. But anyways, that being said, that guy became a millionaire. I can't remember now, but he either made like $30 million from selling his junkyard, or 15 million. But after 15 million, he was really counting, you know. I just sort of forgot, okay? But he was in the news. It was sort of kind of like a little news segment. I don't know if you guys ever seen it, but he had 27 cars and became a millionaire. 27. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm probably not as good as he is. I'm gonna have to overcompensate. I'm gonna have to get a little bit more. But anyways, he realized he had a junkyard, and he realized he's a millionaire at 27 cars. But that's how I like to think. I like to think with an abundance mindset like that, you know. So anyways, and I have a lot of things to say when it comes to this kind of stuff that will make sense. Yeah, really sorry. I don't know what's wrong. Like all the time, I feel like my throat is a little bit scratchy, like I want to cough. My eyes are like this. Because I'm feeling like I'm gonna sneeze. But anyways, I'm gonna ignore all this stuff. I never feel sorry for myself. Like, I just don't care. I just want to be able to work, make money, and achieve my dreams, because that's actually what I'm working towards right now. So I'm telling you kind of like the sidelines, then I'll tell you kind of like what I'm actually doing to actually make it there. And maybe I'm working in reverse, maybe. But that's just me. That's how my mind works. You just have to do what works for you. I'm probably not the best guy out there to be giving advice when it comes to this kind of stuff. I'm just like everybody else. I come out of the poor family. I really didn't learn nothing from my parents except to be a good person. They was always financially strained. They were always in debt. The only people I've really learned anything from is audiobooks, reading it from millionaires, from anything like from business books to real estate to just doing a lot of YouTube searches and a lot of Googling. You know, that's the only way. And then actually putting the work in and actually buying the stuff to do it, which is very hard, because a lot of these entrepreneurs and books, they teach you how to use other people's money, which is fine, but not for me. I do not want to use anybody else's money. I do not want to have any investors. Because I never like to be controlled. I like to be in complete control. I would like to be able to make my own decisions, and I would like to make a decision at any point to stop what the heck I'm doing if I don't like it. And I don't want to have any debt hanging over my head telling me that I cannot do that, you know. But anyways, moving on. So that guy that made, let's say, like 50 million with 27 cars, particularly I want to address his situation, because his situation is very similar to mine. Now, this guy came out of a poor family. Like, him and his dad, I guess they live without a mother. They grew up in a trailer park. All he had is a trailer, basically, and all they had is a Volkswagen Beetle, like one of those older school Volkswagen Beetles. And the Volkswagen Beetle kept breaking down on him, and he kept having to fix it. And then he realized the parts are costing him a lot of money, so he bought other Volkswagen Beetles to get the parts off of those Volkswagen Beetles to fix his own Volkswagen Beetle. Then his friends or somebody maybe overheard that he fixes Volkswagen Beetles. They start showing up and having him fix his cars. So then he bought more Volkswagen Beetles to fix those cars. And then before you know, he had 27 cars in his junkyard. So then he realized he's actually making more of the car parts that he's selling, of the used car parts that he's selling, than of the actual Volkswagen Beetles service work that he's doing. So then he realized he had something there. So I guess he then focused on building his junkyard business, and the rest was history. And I guess he bought even more cars. So probably not the 27 cars that made him a millionaire. It's the ultimate plan he had after the fact. But that was a good start. That was a good start, because once you learn how a business works, you could always replicate it, you could always multiply it, you could keep it going. you know? So they were showing some other videos and slides and stuff like that. And then they were showing his huge warehouse. He had engines on shelves. He had transmissions on shelves. He had like everything like organized. He had like the best organized junkyard that you could find. Like best junkyard plan, like, you know. So he was making lots of money with that, lots of money. So I really need to look into more into that guy, because I think organization is key. But they did not really give away any information. I mean, his organization is probably secret, because Ford Motor Company ended up buying his junkyard. I don't know why they bought it. Later I think they bought it for like, this is why, like, I think I'm getting these things a little bit confused. I think they paid him like 30 or 35 mil for his junkyard, right? But then later they decided to get rid of it. So they contacted him again if he wanted to buy it back. And I think he bought it back for like 13 or 15 million. Okay, this is a very old story. Sometimes I forget these numbers, but I just remember he bought it back from them. Only to then, I guess, do some improvements and then sell it back again, maybe for an additional 30 million. This guy became like a millionaire, like living in a mansion, from being basically a junk king or something. So essentially, if you think about it, man, it's kind of like almost like being an oil magnet, because oil's being pumped out of the ground. Everybody needs oil, you know, like oil's being sold, right? It's like considered like black gold, right? Same thing like used car parts. It's like you're basically, you're having all that inventory. You could sell pretty much every nut and bolt and whatever else. If you just look at a car as a whole, and the car's broken down, like usually if the car has a bad engine, you could get the car for like $1,500 or $1,000. Maybe if you work hard enough, you could like a negotiation, maybe $500-800 for that vehicle. And some people that buy them for junkyards, they're buying cars for like $100, $150 a car, maybe even less. So there's all kinds of models. So with cars, there's lots of things to be sold. First of all, you could take all the catalytic converters off, and you could actually, if you eliminate the middleman, there is money to be made there, like really good money to be made. So you just have to collect all that crap together and take it as a load. And I actually talked to the actual refineries that do this. I know what it takes for me to be able to have my own load. So I'm also working on that, because once I have enough, I'm going to load up one of my Mercedes Sprinter vans with all the catalytic converters, and I'm going to take it straight down to the refinery. I'm going to work with them directly, and once they refine all the metal, they'll give me like what it's worth. But I have to pay them for like that service, and they do not take anything like less than a certain type of load. They just don't work with like little guys. So a while ago, I opened up my own corporation so that it's growing in time and value, I suppose. And I've been doing business under that corporation, including this one. I run all the money through that, and everything's legit. So I'm on the way. I'm not gonna say I know everything, but I know one thing is, once I do some things and I realize something works better, I'm quick to readjust. I'm not stubborn in some ways, like, oh, I think this is better. Like, no, I'm gonna readjust and reassess, and I'm gonna try to do what works best. So that being said, there's still a lot more to talk about. But what am I currently doing about this whole thing? Well, currently I have parts listed on eBay under my company name, and parts are selling. But I need to make more listings, and I don't have a lot of time because I'm hustling over here and working. But why am I not listing any more listings? Well, partly because I need organization, and organization is key. So for me to move down to the next step, I'm gonna need two things. I'm gonna need a shop to work on my vehicles. I'm talking about anything from fixing them to taking them apart. That's gonna be very important, and I don't have one. I always work in elements, and when it rains, it's very hard for me to do. I do have one garage, 16 by 24, which I use more like my eBay office / my tools and whatnot, and / storage, which I'm getting ready to just convert it to just using it for like maybe like tools and just eBay office, because that's very important. I have a place to make some coffee. I have office desk and everything. I could sit down and I could print shipping labels and package everything up. I have a lot of shipping supplies and stuff like that, so I'm working on that. So what else am I doing? Well, I bought 18 commercial grade shelving I think about a year back, maybe even a year and a half back. Okay, time running like crazy, but anyways, the commercial grade shelving, paid cash for them, of course. There was a big warehouse liquidation sale, and I negotiated to pick up all those shelves for a set amount of price, and they agreed. But I had a time limit. I had 3 days to get them out of there, and I took everything apart myself. So the shelves were standing there. I had to take everything apart myself, load the van. I had to go for a drive. It was not that close. But anyways, that's besides the point. The shelves are heavy-duty commercial grade shelves that can withhold engines, transmissions, anything heavy like that. So that's already an expense that I don't have to bear by buying something brand new. I do not recommend buying stuff brand new. It's like, buy stuff used, because used stuff has depreciated. You can stretch your dollar to go further. So the shelves, they're 12 foot tall, 4 feet wide, and 8 foot long. So they're quite big. So my plan is to build a big warehouse. I'm talking about maybe 30 feet by like 100, or slightly wider by 100. I don't know. But I have a place to build it, and I'm gonna build the biggest one. So the biggest one I could see that I could build is 30 by 100 or slightly wider. That's about it. So, but for me to do that, I need to grade the ground, and my whole place that I bought, it's nothing really level. You have to grade it. You really have to work the land to get it the way you're supposed to. So I was gonna build the shop a while ago, and I put a down payment on it. It was basically a carport for 6 cars. It was the biggest one that they sold, and they sold me the shop for a set amount of money, which was still expensive, and then they went up on the price 3 times, and they saying that I have to pay that amount. But anyways, we're in negotiations about that kind of stuff right now. So that is kind of like for my garage, more like a shop, where I'm gonna put my lifts in and that kind of thing. So we'll see where that goes. But in order for me to get that building built, and then I have to build a warehouse, I need to grade the ground, and I need to put like a slab foundation down. So I talked to just grading alone people. It's gonna cost $6,000, an additional $6,000 just for the concrete work. And this is for the garage type of shop type of property. So I thought that's a little bit much for, seems like not a lot of work. So I thought the best plan would be is for me to get a Bobcat. So I bought a Bobcat. I was told it's in good working order. Well, guess what? It's not. It sounds like it's working on 1 cylinder. It's a diesel engine. It's a German engine. I am a mechanic. I could technically get the job done. Also, I had the right drive motor. It was out. The Bobcat only wanted to spin one way, and then the bucket thing was shaky. Where the whole thing itself is shaky when you're moving. It's kind of like impossible to be very precise with that thing. Turns out I removed the right drive motor, and the whole hydraulic system has water inside, so I have to deal with that. I drained everything out recently, and I need to fix it. I want to paint it up nice and everything, so it looks like I have a half decent Bobcat. But I gotta do some cutting with it, and I have to do some welding. So what did I do? I bought a plasma cutter. I bought a acetylene torch kit, like a huge one, like the biggest stuff you could find. I have a total of 2 kits. And I bought like a welder that could do anything from MIG, TIG, stick, and wire weld. So I actually have to get some supplies for that Bobcat, because I want to make it look decent. I just got to get a seat for it, and I guess call it a day, because that's kind of important, So somebody's honking for like no reason. It's like, you're the one that's exiting. Have enough sense to speed up, you know? But anyways, there's so many moving parts, guys. So many moving parts. So with all these cars, mainly junkyards, the way they do the way they do things is they basically have an inventory and they list it with a service that's called car-part.com. But that service is expensive. I believe it's right around like $500 a month, if not more. And people find the parts there, and then you know you already have a set price, and usually they come down and they pick things up. I don't know if they really do any shipping. They just want you to show up and pick up the parts. That is one of the solutions for my current situation until I get my shop in order. It's sort of like to have the car, to have all its parts still there. Most of the junkyards, that's the model that they follow. But the model that I want to have is an online model where everything is on shelves and it's inside of the warehouse, and the shelves are very tall, and it means I could load up like so many, like hundreds of cars on shelves, like literally, because once you disassemble a car, a lot of it's just air anyways, and most of the stuff is going to be sitting on shelves, and it's going to take up a lot less room. And that is my goal, because I want to build a multi-million-dollar used car parts business. Also recently I passed the dealership certification. That was like about 3 years ago, I think. Could have been a little bit longer, but in South Carolina it never expires. The certificate never expires. I could become a car dealer at any given moment. I work with other car dealers, but the reason I'm holding off is because of everything else that I'm doing, and it's very hard to have to pay the dealership cost for every month and focus on that while I really don't have all my ducks in order. You know, I first want to go ahead and organize everything. Like the very thing that I need right now, the very last piece of the puzzle, is for me to build a warehouse. And I'm this close, well, not warehouse, shop. I'm this close to get it done. This close to get it done. And when I say this close, I mean, it's not that close. It's a couple months away. And that's only when I'm gonna start attempting to actually do this. I might do some of it already, just to kind of get the ball rolling, because what I'm gonna be doing is for the shop, I'm gonna be building a pole barn type of shop, and I'm gonna try to build it for the least amount of money as possible and for it to still look good, because the shop is very important. I need to put a slab in, because so I could already start working on cars. So some of the cars that I have, I will sell. And I make videos on those topics, and I post the videos to YouTube so that people could actually service their own cars. But YouTube channel for me fixing, eventually I'm going to use it as a place for me to say, hey, if you need any parts for these cars, I have the parts. And already this is happening. I did mention it before. So it means I'm gonna have traffic coming in and stuff like that, and plus I'll have a website, and plus regular like eBay sales and stuff like that. So there's gonna be money being made. I think the most important thing is actually having inventory, and I do have inventory. It's just thing about it is a car parts business. It's always evolving type of business, and it's good and bad at the same time. If you rent your own warehouse to do that kind of stuff, and you get staff, and you put parts on the shelves, right, and you just made all these different expenses, you're gonna make enough money every single month just to cover the expenses and pay all the employees, and maybe buy some more inventory to put on shelves. You're not gonna make any money. That's just like the sad truth. I watched this one guy on YouTube. He's got a professional warehouse and everything, and he quit the parts business, and he had, man, the most beautiful parts business I ever seen. Like, and it's because it's unsustainable. He's actually like making like, well, I don't want to say like negative income, but he's kind of like breaking even. Like that's it. He said he made more money when it was just him and his wife working out of their garage. So I took that lesson home, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not somebody that's rich. I cannot afford all of these major payments and stuff. So I don't want to have to deal with that. So like payments for like everything, like employees and everything. So I'm thinking I want to kind of keep it small until I could actually grow it and I don't want to have to own anybody for like land or warehouses or like nothing. You know, just pay my business expenses, and that's about it. In South Carolina, you could become a junkyard with a dealership, with a car dealership license. So I have some stuff that's kind of like ready to go. There's going to be other things that will need to be done to finalize everything, but I don't want to like kick it off like right now, like right away, when it's like it's still in baby step mode, you know, that kind of thing. It's just, guys, it could have been done a lot quicker if I use other people's money, but I do not want to use other people's money, so I'm using my own money. So I have to hustle like crazy because the cars are not that expensive, and I'm making, as you noticed, sometimes $1,400-$1,500, sometimes $2,200-$2,300 a week if I put the whole week's work in. And that means I could buy one car a week if I wanted to. So for me, that works, because ultimately I am reinvesting my money and I could just make even more money, you know. But right now I'm investing the money, like I'm saving up, and I'm gonna start building my warehouse, well, I mean my shop slash maybe like a little bit of a warehouse in just a little bit at the end of February. I'm just planning to start working in the warm months. So these 2 months, January, February, I'm gonna hit it hard. I'm gonna make enough money to basically just start that business and keep going. And that's just one of the plans I have. I have others. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.